back to Press Any Button to Continue. My name's Keith and I'm joined by my co-host Nisha. And today we're going to be talking about something we've never talked about before on the history of this podcast. Not just something modern, but something that hasn't even released yet. We're actually going to the future. For the very first time on Press Any Button to Continue, we're going back to the future. As we want to talk everything about the Switch 2 today. We want to ponder, we want to imagine what it could, like, what it has it in store for us, what Nintendo is planning, our wishes out of it, and also our community's wishes. So I'm excited to ponder. I love pondering. It's my favorite thing to do. How are you feeling about it, Nisha?
I'm really excited. I feel like this is the first console launch that I've really gotten behind excited-wise. Because I was always so, like, as a kid, it just, like, consoles kind of just appeared. Do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't have the mindset of console launches, and then for the last decade or so I've been so heavily focused on retro that although I have a Nintendo Switch and I have a PlayStation 5, I was never really got wrapped up in the hype of console launches. But for this one, I'm totally there. I'm in. Like, I feel like it's gonna split people, this console, as in people's opinions will be very split.
It's interesting because I guess in terms of consoles coming out, like, I've always been very on top of them. I think, like, I was always excited for them. Do you know what I mean? Like, since I was a kid, like, I pre-booked the GameCube. Do you know what I mean?
Cool.
Like, I was always waiting for them. So, and video game magazines played a big part to blame for that. Do you know what I mean? It was always the Ultra 64. Do you know what was the new console going to be, and the demos of games that never came to be, like that. That GameCube Ocarina demo, lots of stuff like that. So always very, very exciting. I think the Switch 2 is interesting. It's the first time, would be my biggest statement to say, that Nintendo have ever played it safe. It's the very first time that we have a 2 on it. It's not a Super Nintendo. I thought a Super Switch would have been a great name for it, by the way.
That is such a good name. Oh my God. That is a great name. How did they not do that? How did they not go with Super Switch?
I think it's because of the Wii U. So I think because the Wii U was such a commercial failure because of everyone thought it was an accessory for the Wii. They didn't think it was a new console. That I think this time they were like, we can't fuck this up. We have a good console. We have to play it safe. We're calling it a Switch 2.
Interesting. I really like the Super Switch though. It's such a good name. But I do. I totally get it about the Wii U. Is that what was that like people's initial reaction of the Wii U, was that it was an accessory?
They thought it was a gamepad extension for the Wii that you bought for the original Wii rather than a new console. And I thought the Wii U was excellent, but just suffered from poor marketing. So the Switch 2. We got a tiny trailer first. We got a tiny teasy trailer. Teasy trailer. A tiny teasy trailer. What was your first thoughts on the Super Switch?
That's what I'm calling it from now on, by the way. I had a strange reaction to it because I was like, this looks very cool, but I think maybe it is because they're playing it safe almost. It's like an iPhone going to the iPhone Pro or something, or the iPhone Plus. One thing that I really, really loved was the kickstand at the back is a full, because that current kickstand is fucking shit. It just does not. Well,
the original one is, there's the Switch OLED which has the stand more similar to that.
Oh, really? I have the OG one, and it's not great.
It's garbage.
Should I say. But the new one looks really, really cool. I like the idea of having the bigger screen. Although initially when I got the Switch for months, I never played it docked. The first time I ever played it docked was to watch the ending of Breath of the Wild.
Oh, nice.
And then after that, I actually, sorry, do you know when I really got into playing it docked was when I got my first Pro controller. Because that, like, I was always like, I'll never get one of them mad controllers, and then as soon as I got one, I was like, this is so nice. It's so good to play.
I agree. Like, the handheld part of the Switch, like, I still am a firm believer. I said on the podcast, I wish Nintendo were making consoles and handhelds, not a hybrid. I know for money reasons it's working out for them great, and like, business wise that's a smart move. I just think creativity wise it's the wrong move. But at the same time, the Switch is probably their most successful console. I think it's more successful than the Wii now.
Possibly,
And they went really, really safe with it. I mean, the biggest complaint I have with the original Switch, I suppose, which is maybe a good starting point of what you like and what you don't like about the first model to see what you'd wish for the second one maybe, is the Joy-Cons are fucking garbage. They are the worst controllers ever made for video games because they all get stick drift after a while.
Oh yeah.
So like they're faulty to begin with. And then also, like, I mean, they're kind of cool. Like, when you first get the Switch, you're like, oh, that's handy. We can have 2-player. Excellent. Really cool idea. Love that. It has the HD rumble, all that stuff. But I don't think I've ever been more pissed off with Nintendo. Actually, I don't think I've ever been more pissed off with Nintendo than I have for the era of the Switch, which is really funny. Because, the first few years I was playing all the same games again that I bought on the Wii U. So I suffered for owning a Wii U because it was all ported games. And then anytime I'm streaming, I'm trying to play Mario Kart, that has stick drift. I get another Joy-Cons for €80. Stick drift. Again, another 6 months later. And then I'm buying these third-party controllers, and they have like unique USB ports on them that like break. And I'm like, holy mother of God. It's like, can I please play the system? Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So I need these controllers to be such a step up. Like, they have to be.
But I feel like that was such a harsh criticism for the first one that surely they will realise it has to be like they have to fix it with the Switch 2. Yeah. The kickstand was a huge criticism with the first one. This stick drift was a big criticism. Another one was the port at the bottom of the console. So if you're trying to charge while you're sitting down, it's at the bottom and it's sticking into you. It's just kind of funny, awkward. So it seems like they've remedied the kickstand. It has like a charging port at the top and at the bottom. Is that right?
I'm not actually sure on that. Maybe.
I think it does.
I watched the trailer.
I think it does. I think from the trailer, I think it does. Okay. So you can do it both ways. I'd imagine one is for docking it, and then the other one is for if you're playing it charged. So it's coming in the front.
Funnier idea. What happens if the Switch doesn't have a top or a bottom? What happens if it's like, as in it doesn't matter what way you're holding it, it's the right way to hold it.
The kickstand, I wonder, is the kickstand?
No, that's true because the kickstand isn't the kickstand isn't a complete 180. Sure, it's not. It's just.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's fair. That's true. Yeah, it's interesting. I like the way the accents of the colors are like, underneath the analog stick and where the magnetic. Yeah, that's an interesting part about it too. It's not clip slide on anymore. It's magnetic.
Yeah. And I don't know. I just like I don't understand how that's gonna. There's longevity with that. That's my concern.
In what sense?
As in, will they fail eventually?
I imagine. I think about what it reminds me of. I mean, I suppose will they keep the same strength they've always came? Maybe.
Yeah.
I think about MacBooks. Do you know the way they had those MagSafe charges, the ones that latch on and latch off?
I think I have one of them for like my watch, for my Apple Watch. Is
that
the same thing?
That would be a lot weaker now in fairness, but similar idea. But the MacBooks had quite strong ones, and I think they always stayed fairly firm. Now, I know from walking into Smith's and buying things, I know why they've done this is because kids would always put them slide the wrong way around. So they'd try and jam them in and they'd break them. So I think that's like probably a big part of it. And everything's just a little bit bigger. It's just, I don't know, it's so interesting that there's a 2 on it. Yeah. I can't get over the 2. I mean, and someone rightly said to me, there's a PlayStation 2 or a PlayStation 5 or whatever. And I'm like, but it's Nintendo, like having a 2 on it's the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it is. It's weird, the 2, but I don't know, I kind of like it.
Here's my feeling on it, right? I'd buy it right now if I could. Right?
Would you,
that's how I feel about it. But at the same time, I don't know what I'm feeling about it. Like, there's an excitement about having a new console that I think I'm always into. And there's, we're in a gap at the moment where I think we'll see the new Xbox next year. So I think there'll be...
Do you reckon, yeah?
Yeah, I think they're kind of aiming for that. The PS5 Pro is going to have to tie them over a little bit longer. And I think that's going to be Sony's biggest mistake they've made in a long time.
I feel like this PlayStation 5 only came out like last year.
Yeah, same.
And it's like a couple of years old. Is that true?
2020. So it's 5 years old. It's a normal console life cycle.
Oh my God, that is wild.
COVID really warped our brains on that.
Yeah, it's so weird. See, I'm in a bit of an unusual thought about it because I don't think I'd jump on it straight away. I think I'm gonna have to. The right game is gonna have to come out. There's gonna have to be that game. I'm like, right. I'm not gonna be pre-ordering it unless there is the right game. If the right game isn't there for me, I'm gonna wait until it feels right to get switched to. But I don't. What is that game going to be? I really don't know.
And we can ponder that too in a little bit. I'd be curious to keep going on the console for a while longer. But it is. What will the game be? Because
What
for
is that
me,
game?
like I play games a little bit different to you, because I do it for my job as well. So it's like there's a couple of things, but mostly I just want the excitement of being a kid and getting something on launch day. It like even if it's not, even
Actually,
if it's it's not the right one or whatever. Like I look at these things and I think I'm gonna go to Smith's and I'm gonna have that receipt. I'm gonna be one of the few people picking it up and I'm gonna be unboxing it, like holding it in my hands for the first time, seeing what the new menus are. What's the operating system? How is that going to be different? Do you know what I mean?
What am I thinking, man? I'm getting it on fucking...
Then again, I'm a good salesman.
You're totally selling it to me, yeah. Because I remember, what did I get on launch? I went and got Tears of the Kingdom. I think it was the first time I ever got... or I ever pre-booked a game and bought it on launch day. Was Tears of the Kingdom.
Was that your first game you ever pre-booked and got launch day? Ever?
First one ever.
That's fucking wild.
I remember buying Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 on the Xbox 360 on launch day down in Extravision. But I literally just walked down. I hadn't pre-booked it. What else? Actually, sorry. I think I pre-booked Skyrim on the PS3.
I see. I don't pre-book anything unless it's a console or a special edition. So like my theory is there's no point me just getting a normal disc box that you'll probably be able to get unless it's like, San Andreas or Red Dead Redemption or something.
Yeah.
For me, like it has to be like I'm going home with a gift box. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like I got the box, and I'm like, and there's only a few of them or whatever, which adds to the childhood excitement of them.
Yes.
So
yes.
I think that's where I stand with it. Like if it's a standard copy, like clearly I'm not so obsessed with it that I need the special edition anyway. So I'll probably just pick it up. But I think you need to experience getting a console day one for the first time in your life.
I'd love to. Do you know what I'd love to experience? Not just getting a console day one, but I'd love like some sort of an event. I'd love to go to like Smith's or a video game shop where
midnight launch.
A midnight launch. I'd love to go to like an actual launch where there's loads of people queuing up. There's a bit of a buzz, bit of an excitement.
Smith's will do that.
Yeah, do you reckon?
Yeah, they will. So if you want to come to Cork to get our Switches together and do a little midnight launch up, we could. And you could record a podcast while you're waiting in the queue for an hour.
Yeah, absolutely.
You could go around interviewing people. How are you getting up? Imagine capturing the excitement of people at a midnight launch.
Oh man, but I would. I'd love to do a midnight launch. So definitely, if depending on when it's out, and if I can get down, 100%, I'll come down and because I can just pre-book it ahead of time for your local wherever Smith's.
Yeah,
because there's no other game shops.
No.
Is there? Like as in
There's
franchises. There's obviously the likes of the Retro Gaming Store in Wexford and stuff. I wonder will they do something?
Like maybe, but I mean, I don't think there's any other video game stores really in Ireland at the moment. That are like going to do something like that. Because I know even Smiths will do like a Pokemon card release at midnight for the scalpers and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, do they?
Yeah. All right. I suppose in my head, right, the way I look at the Switch 2 at the moment is we have the physicality of it. And then we have what's going to be the operating system, and then what's going to be like, it's, internals, like how powerful it's going to be, what's the memory going to be. And then there'll be like the games that we hope for it as well. But if I was just to ask you on the physicality of it, like you've noticed a few things about it. Is there a wish you have about it? Is there like, are you happy with its design?
I'm perfectly okay with its design.
You're a 7 out of 10 with it, like.
Yeah. I would like a dedicated fixed controller, not the dog ears thing. I'd like a better controller to come with the console,
Yeah, like
included. Like a pro controller. Like
too.
A proper controller, not the dog ears.
Because I don't play that much handheld myself. Do you know, like I am more of a dock person myself, so it'd be interesting, yeah.
And I was like, I used that dog ear thing. I don't know.
You mean the Joy-Cons? Are you talking the Joy-Cons? Yeah.
Yeah, the little Joy-Cons you click into the holder that comes with the Switch.
I
call it the doggy ears.
Oh the thing that holds them together.
Yeah.
Sorry. So you want something controller. So we haven't seen that. Have we seen that? We have.
Oh, yeah. It's
the same more or less, isn't it?
It's very much the same, just a little bit bigger. So I'd love. I've three big things, right? 3 wishes for the Super Switch. A pro controller to come with the console. Okay. Backwards compatibility, which I'm fairly sure we're getting.
Yeah, mostly anyway.
And a customizable what's it called, like a HUD, the interface, the user face.
Yeah. The operating system you want to be able to mix your things around.
Where you can kind of customize it a little bit better. And I don't know. I feel like the Switch one is just a little bit restricted or something.
That's
or
very
it's a bit
basic.
barren.
They've been so far behind on it. Like, back in the Xbox 360 days, we had our own gamer pictures and our reputation and our usernames and our, because Nintendo doesn't like that connectivity. I think, like there's so much with the operating system that I want, like I'm dying for and I need. Like I need some form of achievements. That would be my number one thing. I want Nintendo to bring trophies or achievements to their games. Because that's what makes me play games over and over. That's what puts more hours on, and it's so simple to do. I also think it's almost impossible for them not to do it because they're entering into an era of games where like they're going to be having like AAA games that are like, well, we just cut the achievement part out for you. Do you like it? Just doesn't really make a lot of sense to me for them not to have it this time round. And I'd love the operating system to be more like the Wii U. Like the Wii U had Netflix. It had like you could draw on it, like use it like a drawing tablet. You had these social media Nintendo type apps where you could send each other your drawings that you made, like very basic stuff, nothing that would hurt your brain. And it had your little me avatars and stuff like that. I just think I'd agree with you there. I think like the Switch. The Switch was perfect in the sense that it was made for games. That's what it was for, and there was nothing else going on with it. But I think they've proved that now. And if they're doing a Switch 2, give me my Xbox 360 experience, kind of. I don't know. I want achievements. I want it.
Yeah, I feel like it's mad thinking back now to how good the Xbox 360. What is it called? What do you call it? The interface. The interface, the user face, or the operating system, I guess. Operating system. The Xbox 360 one was just so good, man, wasn't it?
With the blades that flipped across.
It was so good.
Yeah, it was king.
But that would be cool if you could kind of customize it a little bit. Change the colors of the backgrounds, not just black or white. Maybe put a picture. If like games give you custom backgrounds or something, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and there was a leaked image. Now, it looks very real to me, but it could be very fake. I'll try and grab it for you there very quickly. So Switch 2.
Because if you think back to, have you played the Super Game Boy on the Super Nintendo? Like depending on which game you play, the Super Game Boy, put in the Super Game Boy, right? And you play a Game Boy game on your telly, it gives you a custom banner around the edge. So if you play Pokemon Blue, you get a blue one. Even Donkey Kong Country, I think I remember playing that, and it has like its own custom banner, which is really cool. So I wonder if if a game gave you a custom background, it'd be very nice.
It's just be nice to have something. I'm not going to find it there very, very quickly. I saw was basically that like there was a thing for Metroid Prime 4 on it, and like when you're hovering over the game and has it on the background as well. But I was just looking at the Switch 2 there. You're dead right. The dog ear controller, the thing that connects the two Joy-Cons together, looks identical to the first at a glance.
Yeah, just a bit bigger.
Now, what about the docking station? Was there any improvements with that you saw?
I just noticed that it was bigger. Really, was the only thing that jumped out at me.
I'm assuming it has the Ethernet port and stuff like that came with the Switch OLED because this is actually, sorry, talking about physicality, a big thing to mention is the screen. Obviously, it's bigger, but I don't think it's going to be like the mid-cycle Switch upgrade, the Switch OLED. I don't think it's going to be OLED anymore, which is fucking annoying. Yeah, I think they're going back to LCD.
Surely that'd be like the standard now going forward,
You would hope so, but they're probably just going to put an OLED screen in the revised version 2 or 3 years down the line.
Yeah.
Now it has gone from 720p to 1080p, and I think like it's a very, very good 1080p. And I will say that a screen at that size doesn't need to be 4K. You know what I mean? It's when a screen is small enough, you're not going to notice as much that kind of discrepancy. So as long as it's an excellent display, maybe that's okay. But I am disappointed if it's not OLED, I'll say that.
Yeah, I'd be surprised because, I just assumed that's what they'd start the newer one off on, an OLED. It's mad having gone from never noticing these things to, I think it was the first time I went down to your house and noticed your telly. Do you have an OLED TV?
I do. Yeah.
I remember you were showing me like Lord of the Rings, and it fucking blew my mind. And even say for instance the other day, like we've a TV in the front room and then the newer big TV in the back room in my house, and we were watching Howl's Moving Castle.
Nice.
On the smaller TV, the old one, and then today we put it on again. And the difference, I was like, "Oh my god, it just looks so good in the new in the big TV and in the 4K or extra HD McGonagall, whatever it is." I'm only new to appreciating such differences. So I would hope It's going to be OLED.
Yeah, I think I was reading some kind of stats on it that it's a good screen, but I don't think I'm pretty sure, because I'm guessing the big thing, right? Here's a question: is how much will it cost? Because that has to be killer.
I am going to the number that's coming to my head is €399.
Yeah, I think it has to be 400. I think it has to be, because like the Switch is 300, fair enough, but like the Switch is going to have to drop in price. I'm assuming they're going to still sell the Switch, because they will still sell the Switch. Like
drop in price, Nintendo? Are you for real, bruh?
Well, they have. Well, they have to if they're going to have a comparison system next to it. Because
that'll be $299 and the Super Switch will be $399. I reckon, and it'll never.
I don't think.
Never drop.
I think 450 is probably more realistic or something. But then
Do you
again,
reckon? Yeah.
But you see, they didn't include the OLED screen and stuff. Like, this is why I'm talking about the OLED screen. Are they trying to? They need to have a competitive, not a competitive. They need to have a Nintendo price. You know, parents need to buy this shit for their kids at Christmas and stuff. Do you know? I think 400's right, but I think 450 feels like closer to what it will be.
Oh, yeah, you could be right. Yeah, 450 wouldn't be shocking at all. But just something you said there. Do you think they'll have a digital only version?
No.
I
don't, that's not Nintendo.
Their style.
Yeah, I think Nintendo will always hold on to old things longest. They're not like apparently this system will be 4K docked. It can do 4K. It'll be the first Nintendo system ever to do 4K, which is kind of getting into the power and specs department, but I think carts will still be the way. Nintendo can kind of own that more. Do you know? I don't know. I think if they're selling physical media, like, that's ours, we own it. You know, like.
Yeah.
Now they'll have the digital store, but I'd be shocked. I can't see the merits, because they have their own proprietary card system for the games rather than disc-based stuff. Do you know? So I think it would be way too much money to try and figure that out, to have an alternative system, like maybe separate to add it on later or whatever. Yeah. And I think Nintendo are just kind of always in their own league and they can do what they want. So
I wonder what the carts will look like.
I'd say the carts must be the same, because it's backwards compatible. Do you know? So
yeah.
And apparently it upscales the games a bit, so your old Switch games will look better on it.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Do you know, which is a nice part too.
Imagine this, right? Now this is absolute insanity. Imagine the Super Switch accepted all form of classic Nintendo carts. Imagine it had ports for NES, Super Nintendo, a little mini GameCube disc drive, N64. I mean, imagine that. Now that's stupid, I know. Or imagine there was an add-on. If they released an add-on that you could have a docking for all those classic carts, that would be the ultimate console. Like, but that as an add-on, man.
But it would be the most anti-Nintendo thing ever to do, because Nintendo always wants you to resell their games for 5 times the price and like lock them. Nintendo won't leave you emulate any of their games or do anything, because they don't. They're like, we're not going to give you Pokemon Red and Blue on the Switch. Like, why? Yeah. Why is there not? Like, what are you talking? Like, release the Game Boy emulator, release the Game Boy Advance emulator, but there's no mainline Pokemon games, because they hold on to them. They hold on to them now. But now you raise an interesting question though. Will the Virtual Console now have GameCube?
Ooh, that's actually, that's a good shout. Surely it will.
I would say so too. Will it have Wii?
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Is it going to do Wii? Like, is it going to do Wii U? Is it like, can it do everything? Like, are we going to have a point where we have all the Nintendo games on the system anyway? Now, they'll slowly drip feed us that like they've always been. Yeah. But, like, surely they're going to upgrade that.
Like, imagine if they just uploaded all of their libraries onto the shop though, for you to buy.
We'd buy it.
Man, fucking right you would.
They could be making so much more money.
Yeah. Why wouldn't they? Now, I know, obviously, with classic games, there's certain licenses with companies and stuff like that maybe you can't get, but why the online libraries of the NES, Super Nintendo, N64, all that stuff, why the classic libraries aren't an awful lot bigger? And why I don't think they give you the option to buy, like, just the one game.
No, they don't. They used to in the Virtual Console on the Wii U and the Wii. Yeah. You could just buy the games.
Yeah, vaguely.
And now you can't anymore, which is kind of annoying. Here's an interesting point, right? So it's rumored that the power of the system should be somewhere around maybe a bit more stronger than a PS4 Pro. Okay.
All right.
Which
Yeah.
makes things very interesting. To give you context, the Switch is about a 360. Well, it's more powerful than the 360, but you're getting graphics that look awfully like a 360, and a lot of the games ported
Oh,
to
really?
it
Yeah.
are from the PS3 and 360 era.
Yeah, that kind of behind.
Yes, that behind, yes.
Mm.
So if we have a PS4 Pro, you could be playing Ghost of Tsushima on the Switch handheld. You could be playing Last of Us 2 on the Switch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
That'd be very
all of a
cool.
sudden it opens up a huge library of possibilities.
So I know the power of a console is always a big thing. Now, obviously, Nintendo don't have the bar set as high as Xbox and PlayStation, but when you get down to it, I know people talk about frames per second, and it's something that's always eluded me. I don't get frames per second. It's not something that's in my head. But is this going to be up to, like, for a streaming point of view, will you be able to stream this really well? Or how do you find streaming on the Switch compared to streaming on a PS5 or an Xbox Series X?
All I'm doing is capturing the image, so like it's
So
just
it doesn't make a
is what it
difference, does
is. Yeah. Like, well, like, as in, so frames per second, you'll really notice if you're playing like a shooting game. Like, I'd have to show you at my house. You see, you don't even have a monitor to show you the difference. Do you know what I mean? You don't have a screen that will be able to do whatever. Switch, in a lot of cases, the problem is because it's so old. Like, you know, playing The Witcher on the Switch is like smeared with Vaseline. You know, it tanks like frame. Do you ever notice games when they stutter? You know, it looks like they're stuttering. That's a low frame rate. That's frame rate. So the higher the frame rate, the smoother the game moves. You know what I mean? It's like me moving in person.
That makes
so the lower the
perfect
frame
sense.
rate, it's like stop motion. Do you know what I mean? But stuff like Mario Kart 8, even though it's a Wii U game, that's like 60 frames per second. So a lot of the first party Nintendo stuff will be smooth. But you might notice playing Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, sometimes that game chugs a little bit. From time to time. You may or may not notice. So obviously, like, you know, Switch 2 will open up the frame rates for those old games. But the main thing I'm thinking about power is like less about what Nintendo's going to do with it and more about like what ports are we going to get now? Like, you know, there's so many games now that you can play a handheld all of a sudden or take you with you on holidays that you never could before, do you know? Games that we consider to be like really graphically impressive or whatever. So it's that kind of thing. And then what can Nintendo do with it?
I don't know why, but I can't picture any new games that are gonna be for me, that are gonna hook me. Now, obviously, if there's a new Mario Kart, fantastic, that'd be great. But
which we saw a clip of in the trailer.
Yeah. But see, the funny thing is, right, and this is just my honest thoughts on it, right? When I was watching that, I was like, is that just Mario Kart 8? I couldn't.
Yeah.
There was nothing jumping out of me as in that was a brand new Mario Kart. I was like,
Is
that just like stock footage?
I think it could just be like a demo or something made just as a teaser. But yeah, I was strangely underwhelmed by the way that looked. It looked slow. Like, you know, Mario Kart 8 is winding, turning, twisting tracks upside down. You know, it's very... Now, the only thing that I heard someone mention is that it looks to be 24 players. So...
Okay.
There's a 20, so that would be very cool. I think particularly for like streaming and community days, having 24 people racing at once, or a battle royale Mario Kart. Imagine 100 racers all at once being knocked off and knocked off and knocked
That
off.
would be so good. But man, like, so Mario Kart 9, that would be a big one. But like, we just got a new Zelda, and we just got that new Mario game, the side-scrolling Mario game. I'm like. It's
Mario Odyssey 2.
Do you reckon? Yeah. Well, do you think that'll be a launch title?
I don't know. See, Nintendo are always usually quite reserved on their launch titles. My wish for launch titles, if you want wishes, would be the new Mario Kart. I'd be so happy with the new Mario Kart, Mario Odyssey 2. I'd take the two of them and I'd be happy, and I'd walk out of the store and I'd be content for a few months.
I'm fair. Like, I'm going to assume there's a new Mario Kart. Like, that's what they're for the launch trailer. Or for the teaser trailer, the initial release trailer, whatever you want to call it, there's Mario Kart in it. Surely that's their way of saying, here you go, it's finally happening. There's going to be a new Mario Kart. You would imagine.
And Mario Kart 8 is 12 years old. It's as old as GTA 6 coming along. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, it is that crazy. Now, my biggest fear then is like, are we going to get Tears of the Kingdom 2.5 where they do a remastered version for the Switch 2 with upgraded textures and graphics, and are we going to get ripped off that way?
Yeah, almost certainly. I'm almost certainly going to buy
it. Because it is going to upscale the old games, but I imagine as well they're going to like re-release some of the games being like way better than before, which would be cool.
Yeah.
But like, and like, are we going to get like Twilight Princess and Wind Waker? Is that going to be on the GameCube emulation site to sell that? Or will they release it as a game?
Imagine they launched with Pokemon Red and a separate Pokemon Blue. Not in one thing. If they launched with...
Completely remade,
remade. Not in the like, Hey You Pikachu or Let's Go Pikachu, whatever.
Full Breath of the Wild, like...
Yeah.
Red
Imagine.
and Blue.
Or even just like Pokemon Red and Blue, like re-releasing it as like... Or wasn't it Fire Red and Leaf Green? Were the kind of upscaled versions of them. But if they did something with the original Pokemon and released that, or Pokemon Yellow or something, that'd be a big...
Nintendo never does the things you want them to do, though.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's the thing. Like, that's the problem. They never fucking do what you want them to do.
Yeah.
And like...
It's difficult. It's difficult
It
to call.
is. Like, I'd like to see a new IP. Like, I'd like to see something that, like, you know, a new Nintendo franchise, the first game in a series developed by Miyamoto, like, you know, something awesome, right?
Cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I think Metroid Prime 4 could be a launch title, but I don't know how much I love Metroid Prime. Like,
Man, like I love Super Metroid. Played that for the first time only about maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Got it at Christmas time. Played through it. Loved it. Really great game. I have fond memories of playing the original Metroid on the NES. But apart from that, I never really got into the Metroid Prime games. I have them on GameCube, but I never got into them.
Yeah, I think they're cool,
so
but they always are a bit ominous to me or something, and kind of left me feeling strange. I used to watch my buddy Richard play Metroid Prime, and I enjoyed watching him play it, but they were just a bit weird. Or like, they're supposed to be weird. Like, that's the idea, so fair enough.
Yeah.
It's going to be so interesting. Will we have colors, do you think? Will there be like, is there the black one? Is there going to be a white one? Is there going to be a blue one, a green one?
Surely they will. Like,
the original Switch launched with just the black one, and then the classic fucking pink
then they had the
one.
Orange or
red and blue, sorry.
Yeah, thousands. But there was a fair few like special edition
lots
Switches, wasn't
over
there?
Time. Yeah, huge amount.
Because that was always like a classic Nintendo thing to do. From the N64, GameCube, Wii, there was always loads of them, loads of different versions, wasn't there? I'd like that. I think it'd be nice to have your own, because you can pick the one that suits you a little bit more, your personal colour, whatever one is jumping out at you.
Yeah, like I want an orange one for some reason. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Operating system wise, is there things that like you would like to see? Customization, yes, but like,
customization,
is there apps?
100%.
Like, do you want Netflix on the? Do you want Netflix on it?
Nah, no, not arsed. No, not at all.
Okay. Because you can. Am I right in thinking you can watch Crunchyroll on the Switch? Or am I making that up in my head?
I don't know. I think
you can.
I'm personally, I'm not pushed for apps, as in streaming services, because I have Sky Digital, I have Smart TV. Don't need them. Don't have any of them on my consoles. I use Skybox or the TV because of that trick that you told me, or not a trick, but the thing of, if you stream it through the app on your smart TV, you can stream things in 4K. Whereas if I just have a standard Skybox, it'll only stream it in HD or whatever, 1080p, whatever it is. So, no, apps, there's not really. It's more the customization is the big thing for me.
And what you want to see in the customization?
Just being able to... For me, customization is very simple. It's, can I change my background? That's it for me.
Can I have a wallpaper?
Yes. Can I have a wallpaper? That's it.
All right, that's all we need. Just send it to Nintendo now. All we want is the ability for a wallpaper, and you're happy.
I'm 100%. What about you?
I needed to have I needed to take off the child's wheels. Like, I need to not have a friend code. I don't want a 20-digit number to add someone. Yeah, I need to have names. I need to be able to I want to be able to message. Like, you can still have like the child mode. Like, I get that, and I know Nintendo's always about that. But I want to voice chat with people on my Switch when I'm playing Mario Kart, like inbuilt. Like, I want the 2006 360 capabilities dashboard, gamer tags, messaging. Just please, for dear Lord, and give me achievements, Nintendo. Please give me achievements. Imagine how much of their old games I'd replay. Imagine if the emulation stuff, like, imagine if Pokemon Red and Blue had achievements, like catch Abra on Route 32 or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, you would just lose your fucking mind.
Yeah, achievements is one thing that you mentioned that I didn't have in my head, but I feel like would be such a bonus. It would be such a drawing factor, and I really think it would really spice things up for Nintendo. I really do think it would spice things up because it would create such a demand. It really would. So yeah, I think achievements is a huge thing. And I do like the idea of being able to chat with people that you were saying. The big 20, something you mentioned there, so the big friend code, was that to make it a little bit more difficult to add people on purpose?
Yeah,
it's
kind of like so
child-proofing thing, yeah.
So so it's like you can't message people. Like in the Wii, you could message people. They took all that away. Do you know what I mean? And they like on the Switch, all you can do is like add the friend code, and then you find them within the game. There's no system in the menu to see what friends you have online. Oh, there is. Sorry, there is. That's a lie. Yeah, there is. But it's just crap.
It's very basic. Yeah,
it's just crap.
Yeah,
like I'd like, I don't know. I want something. I just
in the
like,
world of social media, I feel like that's the most popular thing in the world is social media. I feel like will they play into that a little bit?
I don't think they will. No, like because I think they're the opposite of that, and that's why I think they were like didn't put Netflix on the Switch or anything. At least I don't think they have it on the Switch. Maybe they put it in later. But they're like, we just want you to game on this and forget the world, and I like that. But I just think being able to choose my few gamer friends who I want to be able to like. Yeah. You know, I can share my achievement that I got with them, and I can screenshot and send them the message and be like, I just got this achievement. You know, I could send you a message being like, I just caught Abra on Route 23, and you can like it or what, like, you know, or whatever it is. Like, just very basic, not like, you know, brain rot doom scrolling stuff, just game related things. Game related. That's all I want.
Yeah. No, I think it would be cool. I do. And I feel like it would draw a lot more of a Nintendo community online, you know?
Yeah. Like the DS had it, the Wii had it. I don't know. I just want to bring. I want the DS and Wii operating systems like back on the Switch, and I would like maybe a classic virtual console where I can buy my games again. But
isn't there that thing on? Is it the 3DS or the DS where you can meet when you meet people, if you come in contact with them, their
Street
characters
Pass.
get. Yeah. Because I remember Harry. Harry had that. Yeah, I think he took it with us when we went to the Irish game market, and he was because he was saying to me, I don't even have a 3DS or
fake
I don't
gamer.
have one of them things. yeah. But I think stuff like that's really, and the fact that that's still going and people are still using it shows that it's something people want. So if they brought in stuff like that and we're able to build more of a social aspect to it, I think it would go really far.
I think what's very interesting as well is it looks like Xbox is going to be releasing Halo on PlayStation and Switch too. So it looks like the Master Chief. So Halo 1, 2, 3, 4, they're all going to come to PlayStation for the first time. I think they're all going to come to the Switch. Yeah, so it'll be very interesting. Everyone be playing the old Halo games, the multiplayer together on the Switch, PlayStation and Xbox, which would be very curious.
Like cross-platform as well.
Yeah.
Is that a thing now? So if you're playing something on a PS5, can you be playing certain games on a Series X or something?
But like that was for cross-play games. This is an actual Xbox game. Like Xbox are totally trying to break down this whole like exclusivity thing. They're just like, play where you want, do what you want, and of course, who's going to make the most money out of that will be them. You know, for every time a game is sold, they're getting the money for it. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's just because they want The Last of Us, man.
Well, maybe. But like, I think everyone at this point is like, you know, play where you want to play. Just give us the games. We don't care. Like, why are you holding back your own money? You know what I mean?
The console wars was the 90s, man. Get fucking over it.
I know. Quickly before we maybe move on to our community side of things, give me your like. It doesn't matter what console, it doesn't matter what game it is. Give me your 5 launch titles you wish to see on the Switch, Super Switch 2.
You see, this is where I'm stuck because I can't imagine I want a new Zelda game, but I just fucking got one. I only got one.
Yeah, but that's okay. This is fantasy.
Right,
you give me your fantasy and don't include Mario Kart because we know that's coming.
For fuck's sake, that was the first one I was going to say. Right. I'd love a brand new remake of Pokemon Red and Blue.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I'd like the
it.
2 different games. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It counts as one though. That's only one of your choices.
Right, yeah, but right, that's fine, but that's one. I'd love another Zelda game.
Me too.
Yeah. I'd love like a new Super Mario RPG style game that's not Mario RPG, but more of a how could I word this? More of a like a darker Mario.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So not a Mario that's just geared towards kids. One that has a story where I don't know how to say it, but like a darker Mario, a more grown up version of Mario, right?
Twilight Mario Princess kind of thing.
Yes, Twilight Mario Princess. Yeah, really like that. So Pokemon, a new Zelda, a dark Mario. I don't know, man. I'm like, this is where I'm stuck. But like my library of Nintendo Switch games is fairly small.
Mm-hmm.
I have them.
Yes,
I'd love a new Star Fox or Lilac Wars.
Yeah, that would be interesting because they kind of botched the last one really.
And a new I have it now, and a new Banjo Kazooie, man.
I just wrote that down myself.
Oh yeah. So actually, Lilac Wars, they're the 2 realistic ones, I think. Or Star Fox or Lilac Wars, same thing. Or Banjo Kazooie will be absolutely fucking class. What about you?
Straight off the bat, it has to be done as Diddy Kong Racing 2.
Oh, that'd be so good, man. Oh, I'd fucking love Diddy Kong 2.
Imagine how good it would look in 4K on new crazy everything.
I just had a realization. They have really opened the door to releasing a load of sequels to games they've never released before and just call it Diddy Kong Racing 2 because it goes with the Switch 2, you know, like
like
Super
64
Nintendo
or whatever.
Yes, yeah. If they just call it Lilac Wars 2 or something, do you know what I mean? Even though that's the second one. But anything else?
Then I want like a Legend of Link Return of Majora's Mask or something like that. I'd love like some sort of Majora's Mask sequel because that game is
Ocarina of Time 2.
Here's the deal though, right? After playing through Majora's Mask properly all the way through, and then replaying Ocarina again, Majora's Mask is a far better game, I think.
Do you reckon? Majora's Mask is Ocarina too. Sorry, kind
of. But like, I've just settled with it. You know, like when I'm playing Ocarina, I'm going through the motions. But there's so much variety and mystery and confusion and not knowing what to do all the time in Majora's Mask that made it a very memorable journey for me. I would like Sonic Adventure 3. Give me a Sonic Adventure 3. It's been forever. But a Sonic game is like not the most Nintendo thing in the world. Banjo, I also wrote down I'd like a Banjo 3. Like stuff that comes to my mind is I kind of want to see like another Beautiful Joe game, but I know it's not specifically Nintendo. Ooh, I have one. I know what I would fucking adore. I want a Wario game that is a collectathon, as good as Mario Odyssey, better than Mario Odyssey, and has that fun, like cheeky style to it, funky, dark disco kind of like Mario 64, like overtone. So I would like some sort of Wario Land 2 or some Wario World 2 but something that was a proper collectathon. I'd like Wario Odyssey is what I'd like actually. I think that would be class.
Oh, that'd be very cool, man. Wario Odyssey. It actually sounds really good.
Yeah, it goes well. It goes well. And then I suppose if you're just like Simpsons Hit and Run 2 would be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm just kind of like I want them to just give us the shit we wanted.
Has there been any Simpsons games on the Switch?
Simpsons has died a death. You know, in terms of like it, like people aren't making like I'm sure there is something. No, I don't think.
Maybe
I don't think there's a Simpsons game for the PS4 or PS5 or anything like that. No, it's like thinking of those Nintendo mascots that need more love, like a Yoshi game or something, or like a Yoshi's Island 3 or something. You know, I don't know, or like there's something in there. Like give us a Wario game, but like make it. You know, put as much love as you would with Mario.
Yeah. Like you said, Diddy Kong Racing 2. God, what else is crying out for a sequel?
If I was ready to say a Zelda game, Wind Waker 2 would be just what I want. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I want that specific one. I don't know. I'll have a quick look at Nintendo franchises here just to see. Like F-Zero could do with the return, I guess.
Oh yeah, true.
Luigi's Mansion only got a game recently, and whatever. Smash Bros just doesn't feel like it needs anything else. You know, like Ultimate really felt like a kind of was the ultimate game. Earthbound, Donkey Kong 64 too.
There's a Donkey Kong. Isn't there a new Donkey Kong Country something? Or
It's
is
like
it like
a port
a remake?
of a port, I think. Yeah. Metroid, Fire Emblem, Mario Party. I don't want to see any Mario Party. Get it away from me. Animal Crossings probably is a big one.
I have it. And the original Pokemon Snap, but Pokemon Snap 2. The original, not the new Pokemon Snap. I want the other 150 or the rest of the original Gen 1 Pokemon in a Pokemon Snap. Do you know what I mean?
That
Pokemon
would only
Snap
be a dream,
Ultimate.
though. They'll never do that, unfortunately, because that's just nostalgia we want.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
but I love nostalgia.
Well, they're going to be having a whole show about the Nintendo Switch 2. Is it in February or April? They're going to be doing a whole...
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember which the dating is because I don't know if it was an Americanized or not. Either February or
Oh,
April. We'll
yeah,
be coming back to redo another episode on what we
I
thought
think it's April. Yeah, I think it's
of
April.
our predictions versus what came to be, which would be very, very interesting.
Yeah. That'd
So,
be cool.
will we delve into a little community action before we finish up?
Yeah. So I asked the question to our Discord saying that we're going to be discussing the Switch 2 and to send on any questions or queries, and we got a fairly nice response. So the first response is from Lift Trassel, and they said, just hoping it'll be backwards compatible and still hoping for Wind Waker and Twilight Princess on the Switch. Did they not bring out Twilight Princess on the Switch?
No, the Wii U.
Skyward Sword wasn't it?
Skyward Sword on the Switch, yeah. Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, I would imagine they decided to hold them to sell the GameCube online at an extra price.
Do you reckon? Yeah.
I think
so.
Makes
sense.
Think like two biggest Zelda games, two probably biggest GameCube games to launch their new Nintendo GameCube online service on the Switch 2 hard.
Yeah.
Would be my guess.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense. We're guaranteed the backwards compatibility anyway, which is going to be a good thing.
Next one we got for Zanfan. So there is so little details yet that I'm waiting for the full release of the Nintendo Direct in April. Okay, so it's April. However, I will say that I'll be grabbing one regardless. I can say 3 words: Animal fucking Crossings. I got really into it during the pandemic. A lot of healthcare workers did, and so it became a massive success. Second best Switch game ever. What was the first, by the way? Was it Smash Bros or Mario Kart? Obviously, sorry.
Yeah.
I know a new game is coming for the Switch 2 sooner than later. Since there's been no updates for New Horizons in a while, I'm looking forward to a new game. For the system itself, hearing mostly is backwards compatible with physical games. I like the idea of a larger screen as it's not too heavy. If it's not too heavy. I do wish they would have better kickstands, which I think we're kind of getting all that, which would be nice.
Yeah.
I will say, though, that I didn't like the idea of the Joy-Cons being magnetic. I feel they wouldn't last in the long run. Am I the only one that noticed that when they showed the controllers being attached and detached, they looked like Nintendo was already showing that they will drift? It looked like they were floating just like the original Joy-Cons did. That would suck. Because people have already talked about it online, anyone talks and worries about specs not being up to par when comparing Sony and Microsoft, forget to realize that Nintendo always play by their own rules. I'm kind of happy as long as it's as powerful as the last generation. That's kind of where I'm at with it. All I know is that I never really had a bad experience with Nintendo consoles. I know some systems were poor, like Virtual Boy, but I even got lots of use out of that day. Same with Wii U. I fucking love the Wii U. Games like Mario Maker. Oh, a Mario Maker 3 Nisha would be a launch title. I would 100.
Yeah.
Imagine Super Mario 64 Maker, where people are making Super Mario 64 levels. That would be the fire for it.
That'd be deadly.
So considering they've been consistent, whereas some other systems have the ups and downs, I'm confident. Commence excellent content, lads. We will.
You read that? I didn't hear that last line. You read it so fast.
I said, what did it sound like?
What the fuck?
I said, Chris says, commence excellent content, lads. Probably just sounds like I said something strange.
Considering they have been consistent, whereas some of the other systems have had ups and downs and confidence. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Did you ever play Virtual Boy?
No, and I don't think I would.
Yeah.
I don't even think if someone handed it to me, I don't think I put it on my head.
I tried one at a convention, but like for about a minute, and I was like, this is too much. Fucking, I'm really like, and it was that.
Yeah, you were going to get sick, quick. Like.
Yeah. But I think Animal Crossing is obviously a huge game. Not one that I ever got into, but I really love the look of it. Mm-hmm. It's one of those ones where, or do you have games that you're like, I wish I liked this game? But I just haven't gotten into it yet.
There's definitely some games that, like, you know, the cover and the characters, I'm like, this is great, and I was just like, it's just not for me. You know?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm like with Animal Crossing. I really want to love it, but it's just, for some reason, it just doesn't.
It's a bit fucking boring. I don't know.
Nah, but it's like, I love the likes of Stardew Valley because it's a farming simulator.
Yeah, Stardew Valley, I feel though, like, has way more going on.
Stardew Valley 2, man. That was a great game. I fucking love that game. So cozy. Next up we have Astroman, and Astroman said, I think it would be good to discuss the potential specs of this console. If the rumours are to be believed, it's a PS4 on the go, which makes this device compete a little with current handhelds in the market. So I think we kind of discussed the specs and stuff like that. I think the likes of it, calling it a PS4 on the go sounds very cool. Have you tried the PS5 handheld thing, Jigger?
No, but again, it's like, if it was a PS5 handheld, I'd be tempted, but it's just like a streaming device to your PlayStation to the device.
Yeah, you have
I think it's supposed to be like a nice screen and it's comfortable.
It is.
As a controller,
I've tried one, and it was cool, but it was extremely laggy, and maybe that was a frame per second thing, but it was so laggy. I don't know if it was just the internet of the house I was in, but it was nigh on unplayable at the time. So, but Astroman continued and said, competing is something Nintendo has never done. Where does this leave us with Sony and Xbox with handhelds in development? That's interesting. And Steam Deck. I've heard a lot of great things about Steam Deck.
I'd be nearly tempted just to get a Steam Deck, actually.
Yeah,
if they brought out a really nice revised version of it.
Yeah, it'd be very cool. I'm very curious about a Steam Deck. And Astroman's not writing this. This is just me thinking. Sorry, I should just finish Astroman's comment. Sorry. They finished off by saying, needless to say, I think Sony and Xbox will bring out a more powerful handheld. And the topic of does power necessarily matter, considering the longevity of the Switch in the first place. This could drive developers to better optimize their games to port to Switch, etc. Yeah, the power thing, it's like, what more can you fucking do with power?
I think it matters up to an extent. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it depends what we're talking about. The Switch has been waning for forever, man. The new Pokemon game was disgracefully how poorly it run on the Switch, and that's more a Games Freak problem than the Switch problem. But still, I think there's a lot to be. I think, look, technology is developing all the time. I think, like, Nintendo can have like a system that's 5 years behind, but by the time the Switch is done, it's like 15-year-old technology nearly. You know, it really starts to struggle. So I'm happy with it being, 5 years behind, but like, I'd like it to be kind of keeping up a little bit too. So, like, for instance, if it's a multi-platform game and it's on Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch too, if it looks the best on Xbox or PlayStation, I'm getting that version of the game. No,
that's fair. Here's a question for you: have Xbox ever released a handheld?
No, but they will. They said they will.
Oh, really? Yeah. It's on the cards.
Well, I mean, they're already saying that everything's an Xbox. They're saying an iPad's an Xbox. You have Game Pass and everything now. Like, they have an ad campaign where it's a picture of a TV, a tablet, an Xbox, and like a phone, and they're like, this is an Xbox, this is an Xbox, this is an Xbox.
Oh, really?
Do you know what I mean?
Can you hook up like an Xbox controller to a tablet?
You can literally tonight, if you want to play Halo Master Chief Collection, Nisha, you can go on your iPhone, put an Xbox controller to it, download the Game Pass app, and cloud stream it. Yep. Play Gears of War on your phone and your iPad tonight if you want, or your laptop.
Oh my god, that is... Whoa, that's fucking wild. Has that been out for long? Like, has that been a thing for...
Yeah, their cloud play has been getting stronger and stronger, so yeah.
Holy shit, man.
And on the Xbox as well, you can just decide to stream the game to test it out before you download it. So you're like, will I enjoy this game? So instead of waiting like 10 hours to download something, you just like... Or, if someone invites me to play Call of Duty and I don't have it installed, I can still accept the invite and it will just stream the game for me so I can play with them for a little while. Yeah,
that is crazy, man.
They got a good ecosystem.
Holy shit. Yeah, that's their Xbox are doing the right shit. Very cool, very cool.
Your Father says, not so much a question, but I hope with this generation we get more than 3 notable big games. Bored of ports of 7-year-old games. I'm with you with the board of ports of 7-year-old games. I'm like, anytime there's a Nintendo Direct, how many Wii games, how many anime games, and then how many ports of Wii games charging triple the price that I can buy it for in CX at this very moment in time.
Yeah, true. Very true. Weeb games here. There's an awful lot of Weeb games as
There's
well.
an awful lot of fucking garbage Weeb fucking farming Weeb simulator 2-point fucking farm fucking Titty McGee.
2-point farm. Next up we have Ben from Laser Steak said, I can't wait to see it and not buy it. I need to catch up in the PS4 games before I even get into PS5. The Switch is the only current gen console I play, and I only play games with my kids. Mario 3D World, Mario Maker 2 and Minecraft. New Super Mario Bros. U are the current lineup. Only one of them is actually a Switch game and the others are all ports. So everything he's playing is all ports. Yeah, the Switch was a big old port machine, wasn't it?
It really was. That's why I got like burned from the Wii U a little bit, you know what I mean? That's kind of my feelings on that. And the next one we have is up from Dinner Dog, I believe.
Well, read Gar's comment. Read Gar's comment.
I've never played the Switch. I feel like a fox among the hounds in this Discord. Sorry, I'm going through the conversational pieces rather than people are like putting in submission things, you know.
I thought that was very funny.
That's very good, Gar. Nice to see you on streams as well, by the way. Kick.com/Steamy_streamers. We're playing X-Files on the PlayStation 2 at the moment. A good laugh.
Nice.
Dinner Dog says, new and more expensive Nintendo Switch Online membership. Wait, you want it to be more expensive? That membership will include flagship Game Boy Pokemon game Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, Crystal, Silver, GameCube on Nintendo Switch Online, Assuming there's a mouse on the new controller, new Mario Paint, and OG Mario. A mouse on the new controller. And a new
Mario
Star
Paint.
Fox game.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Mario Paint 2. I could dig that. Mario Paint 2, 100%. With a Switch and yes, a new Star Fox. Be very cool. Are they going to release Pokemon Red and Blue and Yellow and Gold and Crystal and Silver?
They'll do something but I don't know, man. Like, remember they released Silver and Gold on the 3DS? It was literally like you could just buy the box and there was a code inside and it was just the original Game Boy games and you could play it on the 3DS. Yeah, I have the box there.
Actually, I vaguely remember that. Yeah, it was just a box.
Yeah, it was a box with a code in it. And they were like a $5 to buy. It was actually really, really cool. I would love Pikachu. Like, I would like Silver and Gold Let's Go. I'd love that.
Yeah, do you reckon?
Yeah, I'd like the Let's Go treatment on that. But
actually, I did like those Let's Go games.
I did too.
Yeah.
They were way less grindy, and they had the Pokemon Go elements from the phone that made it like, you know, if you caught two Pidgeys, you could just fuse them to make one stronger Pidgey kind of thing. Like, I like that shit, you know?
Yeah.
And you could see the Pokemon that are in the grass rather than being tormented by Zubats all the time.
Yeah, actually, yeah, and you could bypass things. That was actually a good thing.
Hey, ho, here we go.
Last up we have Old Mate, which is Richard, who it's his first time ever being mentioned on the podcast.
Yeah, first time ever. Also Spain. Richard Spain.
Richard said, by day, sorry.
Yeah, he wrote this with no grammar, by the way, so that's just Richard. Don't worry about it. You're not reading it wrong.
All right. By day one, sight unseen, or what? For soft.
What do you mean by sight unseen? What does that mean?
You read that one. I can't.
Well, it's what you're saying. You're not wrong. By day one, and I'm assuming then there's a comma. I don't know what he means by sight unseen or what for software lineup. Okay, we talked about our wish list, so that's done. And I'm gonna buy day one for the childhood excitement of doing it.
Yeah, you sold the day one buying it for me.
By day one, sight unseen. Return of the 2-for-1. By day one, sight unseen. It's probably really obvious now. We're just like not picking it up, but I don't know what by day one, sight unseen means. Buy it day one, sight unseen. I don't give a fuck. Oh my god. Anyway, that was the Switch 2, man. That was the Switch 2, dude.
Excited. I'm excited for the Switch 2.
I am.
I am gonna see if I can get down to Cork for the launch, depending on the time. I
see what the release date is.
I'd love to go down and we could do a midnight launch.
Very last comment, and we'll just turn off the podcast now. Give me your release date. What you think the release date will be?
No, October.
October.
November sometime.
Same in my
oh,
head.
no, it's too
November
close.
7th. I think it's
close to
November
Christmas.
7th.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be 2025. So
Yeah. But do you think will they do it October? It's too spooky. It's too Halloweeny centered. November.
November, I think,
November.
is like the key month for just enough before Christmas and all. So it's like a peak time for games and launches. So
yeah.
I'd say November.
And
Gears of War
people
2
are
came
gonna
out on
be-
my birthday, so
Oh yeah.
yeah. So I'm gonna say it's gonna come out on my birthday, November 7th.
People are gonna be losing their fucking shit trying
And you know what?
pre-order a Switch 2. We all know, we've all been burnt. It took me over a fucking year to get a Nintendo Wii. Pre-order the Switch 2 if you need to get it for Christmas.
And
don't be
fuck
disappointed.
you, scalpers, you disgusting pieces of shit. Thank you.
Last up, we have Old Mate, which is Richard, who it's his first time ever being mentioned on the podcast.
Yeah, first time ever. Also, Spain, 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 Spain.